Let's start that. All right, so welcome everybody to today's Reiki and Affirmative Prayer Circle. I'm Kathy Brook-Wong. If you haven't met me before, I'm a Reiki master and I'm your host for this afternoon. And today you're going to learn about and receive Reiki from me. And today's special healing arts guest is Bob Estrada. And he's a licensed prayer practitioner and a board member at the Center for Spiritual Living, Newport Mesa in Irvine. So some of our CSL friends are here today to join us, and Bob. And Bob, can you say hello and tell us the theme of your talk today?
Yes. Well, my name is Bob Estrada, and what we'll be talking about today is talking about the power of your thoughts. And I'm going to give you a visualization that will demonstrate cause and effect, something to help clarify how things work and all that. I'll have a story to tell about an example of that. And then I have a sample tool to clarify and focus your thinking using the 7 verities. And then at the end, we'll do a daily exercise that will set the intention for your day. Okay, and then I'll take you through how to do affirmative prayer for yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Bob, I'm really excited to hear more about it and share that with our participants today. And Bob, I would love for you to say the opening prayer right now to kind of set the attention for our sacred circle this afternoon.
Okay, so if everybody wants to just take a deep breath and just get relaxed here. And then know with me that there is a loving, nurturing presence that permeates all of life. This God essence is in every living being and the unlimited source of life in all of us. As a divine expression of this universal presence, I am one with that which nurtures my soul, my life, and my world. With every waking moment, I realize that transformative power is nurturing my environment and everyone around me. And in moments of doubt, I fall back into the loving embrace of spirit. Everything I touch blossoms as I am the channel of God's love. I am protected and guided, infused with the peace and wisdom of God. I go forth with quiet confidence, with the assurance that life is constantly conspiring in my favor. My garden is lush and filled with the abundance of all that I value. I'm so grateful for the loving, abundant world surrounding me with a deep sense of appreciation and inspiration. I give thanks for knowing these truths, and I release these words into the universal law that now manifests through me. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, we're looking forward to having you share later on after I share. I talk briefly about Reiki. And so today I'm going to share a little bit about what Reiki is and also guide you through a practice to kind of experience what Reiki feels like in your body. So it will be a self-Reiki demonstration because I'm really excited to share this beautiful, wonderful, compassionate, harmonizing energy that you can access and you can bless yourself with at any moment. So after I do that, and I'm going to also tell you, I'm going to be sharing Reiki distantly with you. So I'll just tell you briefly kind of what that would may feel like. I'm going to be sharing, as Bob shares about affirmative prayer and thought, I'll be sharing Reiki distantly. And I'll tell you what that is in just a moment. Okay. So I'd like to begin. And I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody just so that we have a very quiet environment while we're sharing. And I thank you so much for showing up. This is very exciting for me. I see Felicity for the first time. Carrie, I haven't met you before. I see Brenda for the first time in the Reiki circle. I'm thrilled to have Allison again and Becky again and Sharon for the first time and Avram. So I'm just really blessed to have you here today in this time in the afternoon where it's hot outside, and we might have felt a lot of different kinds of stresses today, right? But I'm very happy that we're coming here just to kind of ground and calm and just chill, you know, and relax and in a healing way. So thank you again. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone right now. At some point, if you like to share or participate, raise your hand or we'll call you. Here we go. So a little bit about Reiki. Some of you know that I became a Reiki master first a few years ago in a style called Kundalini Reiki. And then recently during this COVID experience, while I was home, I became a Reiki master in 2 other styles, 2 other lineages. So that's what I'll be sharing about today. And so what is Reiki? Reiki is a healing method that was created by a Japanese Buddhist monk in the late 1800s. So the Reiki energy or life force energy has always been here. It has always been, you know, moving through us, around us. But this Buddhist monk created a way for us to access it for healing, balance, and harmonizing our bodies. And we all have the ability to give and receive Reiki, since it is this universal life force energy around us. And later Bob might be saying, using the word, you know, universal intelligence or spirit. And really, this is all in the same. And when one learns to focus this energy using one of several healing modalities or Reiki lineages, then they become a practitioner. So during the past 2 years, I've been studying this. And so I am a master again in 3 lineages: Usui Reiki Ryoho, Tibetan Reiki, and Kundalini Reiki. And actually, I'm going to do one more thing before I continue. I want to make sure that I highlight. I see that we're highlighted on Bev, but she's not talking. And in the video, I want to make sure that I'm highlighted. So that's very interesting. Okay, I'm going to keep sharing about Reiki. So we can access this ability, this healing energy, and we can focus it in one of these styles or any type of healing modality to provide a healing session for ourselves or distantly. And also as a Reiki master, I can provide classes to teach others how to give Reiki, how to share Reiki. And people seek to receive Reiki for many different reasons. Since this frequency of harmony can retune our unhealthy energies, it can help us to restore balance and harmony, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And it also can speed up the natural healing process of the body and work alongside with other treatments. So during the Reiki session, the practitioner receives or channels this life force energy and transfers it through their palms of their hands into another object. So in a future Reiki circle, I'll be sharing some everyday ways that we can use Reiki for putting energy into our food before we eat it. We can share it with animals. It's safe with babies or anything. So it's really a wonderful kind of blessing to vitalize and harmonize the things around us. And for the client, for the client of receiving, or for the person receiving this Reiki energy, it's usually done seated or lying down comfortably, and you would close your eyes or not. Okay, so that's just a little background. But for now, my friends, I will be guiding you through a demonstration of what a Reiki feels like, self-Reiki. And we're going to start with setting the intention by saying the 5 principles of Reiki. It's called Gokai in Japanese. And we're going to be saying it in English and Japanese. So I'm going to say it first, and then you can repeat after me. And this is a very grounding meditation that I use throughout my day when I get stressed out about something, when I'm when I'm in the car and there's lots of traffic, or I just get out of sorts a little bit. It's a very wonderful grounding exercise. And so our attention today will be on focusing on gratitude and self and love. Gratitude and love. And so you may put your hands in prayer position like this, okay? Or you could put it down, your hands down in your lap. And I like to put it in my heart center to remind me that the heart is the intelligence that I'd like to live by, that all the wisdom I need to know is right here in my heart. And when I come in my heart and open my heart, it's very healing, and that's where I like to be. So please repeat after me. And we're going to take a deep breath in. Just for today, I will not be angry. Take another deep breath in. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will do my work with honesty and integrity. Just for today, I will be kind to every living creature. Ah, that feels so good. Okay, let's say that in Japanese. Do your best to follow after me. Kyo dake wa shinpai suna. Ikura na kansha shite yo hagame. Hito ni shinsetsu ni. Beautiful. So you can keep your hands in your prayer position, and you could close your eyes if you like. Now, this will be a meditation, and I'd like you to focus in on the energy between your hands. You can start by rubbing your hands together. And take a deep breath in and out. One more time, in and out. And I want you to focus on the energy between your hands, and try just pushing your hands together in a way. Do you feel a kind of a push or pull or some kind of energy inside that area? Some people do, some people don't. And as you're holding your hands in front of you, I want you to call in mind a person, or it could be an animal, who you are so grateful for. I want you to visualize that person or the animal, the pet that you love, that gives you unconditional love and kindness. Visualize them in your hands. Now you may want to hold your hands out like you're holding the image, or that like a beautiful baby or pet that you love, and just visualize the person, bring them to you. Imagine the essence of their being, just their spirit, no ego, in your hands. Intend to send your love to them. Imagine energy compressing and expanding in this ball. of energy. Now, take this ball of energy, take this and cup it and scoop it and place it above your head. Imagining that this glorious warm shower is coming through the top of your head and down your glorious neck, onto your shoulders. And you may want to take your hand slowly to your forehead. Some call that the third eye. I like to put my hands over my eyes and feel the warmth coming from my hands. Like a warm, comforting kiss or hug on my eyes. And slowly, slowly, slowly bring that to your heart center. Feel the energy or the tingling or some kind of warmth penetrate through your skin of your chest into your heart. Ooh, like a warm blanket on a cold day. You may feel your heart expanding. Yeah. Opening, filled with just a loving warmth. And take just one more moment to feel that energy in your, spreading from your heart center and swirling. If you can imagine like this ball of energy, this glowing golden energy is spreading throughout your body and warming up all the parts of your body. Yummy. Yummy. Beautiful. So stay one moment with this feeling and just notice how you feel in your body. How do you feel in your mind? And I encourage you to practice this over the next few weeks till we get together again in the next Zoom circle. You may want to do this, try it once a day, or when you feel a little tired or stressed out. Thank you. So go ahead and relax your shoulders, and you can put your hands in your lap. So for me, when I do that, when I do shelf Reiki or even share Reiki with others, I feel just this vitality and this energetic, glorious energy, but it's a beautiful, pure energy throughout my body. Hopefully that felt really good to you too. So now I would love to just tell briefly about distant Reiki. Bob is going to share, so I definitely have to mute my dear friend Bob. Bob, would you like to unmute yourself? Do you know how? I'm trying to find you here, Bob. I'm looking at participants. Bob Estrada. I can, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
Beautiful.
Okay.
So let me just, before you start, I will be sharing Reiki in the background. It's called Distance Reiki. And I will just be sending a big warm hug to you. I will be very gentle, and it's just to open up and just to gift you with this, just a glorious, peaceful energy. You may feel it. You may feel really insightful, or you may just open up. You may feel extra peaceful. You may not feel anything, but the last thing I like to say about Reiki energy, it works whether we feel it or not. It's very intelligent energy. So Bob, it's all yours. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for having me here today.
My pleasure.
I wanted to start out by just kind of giving you a visual on how important our thoughts are. It has been said that every thought we have is almost like a prayer. So what are you praying for with your thoughts? And here's some of the things that I'll give you kind of I've made up a little visual on this. Imagine, if you would, in front of you, there is a conveyor belt. Now let's say the conveyor belt is going just across here. And what you're seeing is, on one end is cause, and on the other end is effect. And what you're doing is, in the center here, there's like a little castle, a little something for a factory. And this conveyor belt is moving from cause through this little castle or factory and causing an effect or manifestation on this side. Every thought we have creates something. Every desire we have creates something. So for me a lot of people will spend their lives trying to bat at the effects over here, trying to change conditions, try to change manifestations that have happened. When what they should be, what would be more helpful, is to focus on the cause over here, which was our thinking, what we were thinking about. So it would be like, for me to put some lemon seeds on this side and run them on that conveyor belt through the little factory that is impartial. It doesn't care what I put in there. It'll turn out on the other side a lemon tree. So it'd be ludicrous for me to be disappointed because an orange tree doesn't come up, right? So it's just like in a computer, junk in, junk out. Whatever I put into this thing is going to manufacture that without not caring what it is, and send out on the other side the manifestation of what I've put into it. And I'll give you an example of this. A few years ago, I was with a friend of mine. I happen to like cars, okay? And I have a Ferrari, all right? And it's something I created just to kind of prove this to myself. And I was at one of my favorite Italian restaurants with a friend of mine, sharing a little glass of Chianti with him, when I saw a young man coming from inside he came out of the restaurant that we were in, and he started walking around the Ferrari and just really taking it in, drinking it all in, walking around very, very slowly. And he very politely took his hands and put them in his pockets to show he wasn't going to touch anything. So I'm thinking, that's pretty nice, car etiquette there. And he took his time and he went back into the restaurant. A little while later, he was back out again, walking around the car. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, this kid really likes Ferraris, doesn't he? And, he went back inside. But the third time he comes out, this time he's with an attractive older woman. That's another story. And usually people, I noticed, I called out to him. And usually people would say, hey, don't touch the car or whatever. I called out to him and said, listen, I noticed that one of you has a camera phone. If you want, why don't you take some pictures of the car with you in it? And his eyes just widened. He goes, are you serious? And the woman he was with, his friend, came over to me and said, you have no idea what you've just done. This young man, his name is Andrew. And all this, he actually grew up in Compton, not a good part of town. And his family has always struggled. And in fact, he's even lived on Skid Row. But his life's dream is to someday own a Ferrari. So I said, really? Well, come here. And I showed him how to open the door, and the driver's side. I got him into the driver's seat, and I told him, now, I want you to adjust the seat to fit yourself. And, you know, when he did that, I closed the door and I'm looking at him and saying, listen, if this is something you feel is important to you, I want you to start to visualize and be thinking, I am a Ferrari owner or a homeowner or a business owner in a beautiful relationship, happily married, whatever it is you want, and start to really visualize that. And I said, once you start to truly believe whatever it is you want in life, nothing can keep it from you. But don't try to figure out how you're going to do it, because you can only get in the way with our limited thoughts. Just, you'll be guided, and just follow that. And I said, when you're visualizing right now, I want you to use all of your senses. So visually memorize the instrument panel, smell the leather, feel the gear shift knob, listen to the engine. Heck, if you want to lick the steering wheel, go ahead and do that too, you know. So I said, look, you're going to hear a lot of yah from a lot of people, advice and all that. But I'm here to tell you, you know, and remember now, when you get your Ferrari or your home or whatever it is you want in your life, remember to always ask yourself, who owns who here? Do I own the car or does it own me? Never allow yourself to be possessed by your possessions. Hold things lightly and enjoy them. And I said, now, if you must judge anybody or anything, judge them based upon results, which is often harsh, but always fair, right? I said, based upon results, I'm here to tell you that if I can do this, you can do this. And I promise you that's true. So then I took Andrew for a ride in the car and brought him back. He was over the moon. He just loved it. It's the first time he'd ever been in a Ferrari. And over time, you know, if you want to become a teacher, you hang out with teachers. If you want to become an engineer, you hang out with engineers, right? Well, Andrew and I exchanged numbers, and I'd invite him to Ferrari club events every once in a while. And then one day I even picked him up and took him down to the Ferrari dealership in Newport. I took him inside and I introduced him to all the salesmen and the sales manager over there. I told them to remember him. And I even bought him a Ferrari cap, right? So now fast forward about 4 years later, we have a weekly meeting of the Cars and Coffee at a place where they have beautiful cars all around. And I had my car there. And this other young man comes walking by. His name was Robbie. And he's looking at my car. He goes, boy, I really like this model of Ferrari. I said, well, would you like to look inside? He goes, yeah. So, you know, I opened the door for him. He's like looking in like this. I said, he had a much better view from the driver's seat. So he shook my hand to thank me that I let him get in the car. And I'm giving him pretty much the same message as I had with Andrew before. When all of a sudden, a brand new bright red Ferrari 458 pulls up in front of my car and he stops, right? So I just look up, glance to see who the driver is. It's Andrew. 4 years later. And he stops the car, throws the door open, and he says, I've been looking for you. He comes out of the car. He comes up to me. He says, I want to thank you for the dream. And he throws this big hug on me, right? And I'm going, oh my God, you know, I'm so proud of you. I feel like you're my son. He goes, well, don't tear up because I will too. And well, we did. And I introduced the other young man to him saying, I want to introduce you to you in 4 years. And Andrew told him, listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. And it's the power of visualization. And then the three of us went out and had a brunch together over at a country club. And he's learned something in his life, how to create things with the power of his mind. And he really focused on that. And just one thing led to another with him. Now, in his case, he wasn't making a lot of money. In fact, when I first met him, he was a lifeguard on the beach and not making a lot of money. Later on, he moved up to being a busboy at a restaurant, and then moved on as a server, and then a bartender and all. But that's really not, it doesn't matter how. Because in his case, for instance, somebody taught him something about day trading, and he really focused on that. Did he make mistakes? Yes, he did. But he kept his eyes on the prize, and he kept his visualization, kept focused on it. And he was guided to his goal, and he did it. So That's just one example of things that when we visualize and we really start to believe, because the whole universe acts in our favor, but it's according to our beliefs. Okay, now words help, but really it's our beliefs that make it happen. And when we say, I'm gonna show you how to do a prayer, but we're not really, it's different than beseeching God to give us something. A lot of it is to focus our minds in the right way to where we can start believing something, and then that's how it comes through for us. And when I pray, it's not like I don't try to change somebody else. It's all for myself, for my way of thinking, or that I have peace. I can't treat or do an affirmative prayer to save a pet or a person's life or something. I mean, I can pray, but they have to be in a. They're the ones in charge there. What I do pray for is that I be at peace with whatever outcome there is. A lot of times that has a lot of influence too. I'll give you an example of that. I had a lady one time that came to me and said, I have a son that has addictions, and my husband as well. And I want to change all that. And I said, well, rather than trying to change them, why don't we pray for you to be at peace with all of that, knowing the best for them? And her consciousness about that could be more of an influence than trying to change somebody else. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that when we do a prayer, what I will do is if I'm talking to somebody and they're going through a death of a loved one, or they're going through a disease, or they want to find a job, or they want things at work to go better, or anything it is that they want in their lives, I'll try to go to focus on there's 7 verities principles that we work with. And those principles are love, life, light, peace, beauty, joy, and truth. So I'll go to one of those and I pray to gather, like light would be enlightenment or wisdom or knowledge from God. And I use God's, or if it's peace, the peace of God or the love of God. And I'll focus on that and set my intention through that into a prayer. Now, the way we'll structure a prayer is usually a 5-step method of doing it. There is a 7-step also, but it's if doubts come up. On a 5-step thing, the first one is an acknowledgement of the infinite. And you'll see on the screen here where this is just an example of some of the things that we talk about. What is God to me? And I'll give you, let me preface it a little bit. The first one on the 5-step is an acknowledgement of who or what God is to me. The second one is a unification with that. The third is affirming what it is I want. And then in the 5-step, then it's going into gratitude for knowing the truth of this. And then the 5th is to release. Now what we're showing here on the screen here is a 7th step. And that is as I'm going through the prayer, if I'm feeling some kind of a doubt or something, I can come back and I can negate any power that my doubt has on my intention, and then go back and reaffirm that. So we'll take you through each one of these here. So the first one is acknowledgement of the infinite. And here are some examples of that. As you can see, there's the one mind is perfect and infinite, or God is the source of all there is. It's good to acknowledge that. God is the source of all my abundance, and not my job, not checks that we get from somebody else. It's God is my source. And they say there's only one God, one light that shines on all things. Or you can say, God is the only power and presence in my life. These are all just examples. In other words, you can say, I acknowledge the divine source, the universal energy. God might mean different things to different people, so we use different words. So, okay, with the unchangeable one as my only source, I build my world consciously. So that's the first step, is determining for myself what or who God is. And then the second step is to unify with this. You as an expression of spirit. So in this spirit being God. So I can say things like, spirit acting through me as me is perfect in form and essence. Or I can say, as an individualization of God, this affirmation is mine by divine inheritance. That's another way of saying it is our Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. Because God has already given us everything. This is an acknowledgement of that on my part. All right, so I'm unifying with God when I say, I am God's light in my world. I influence my circle of influence or my sphere of influence. My true nature, being God or an individualization of God, is to give to the world, being of service. Or another example is I could say, I lift up my consciousness to bless the divine source that supplies my world infinitely. Or another example here is I am its or God's individualized expression. The divine and I are one. So I'm unifying with what God is. Okay, now, having said, here's what God is, here's who I am to God, I unify with that. Now I can make my affirmation or my declaration and say, you can declare or claim whatever you are affirming for self-health, money, goodness, relationship, work, abundance, those things that you want realistically for yourself or others now and in the future. So not to be confused with asking to be a rocket scientist or without gaining the education, right? Something realistic. And then, or I can say, I am a conduit for that which I am seeking. It's another one. So now, as I'm saying a prayer there, if any little niggling doubts come up, there is another extra step that I can take here is release the negative. So I can say, I release any old patterns or behaviors that no longer serve me, or by rejecting any negative patterns in consciousness, or no person, no place or thing or condition can limit my experience because I've unified with God, right? So I release fear and any form of fear or doubt. And if I can change my thinking and change my life. Okay, so that's negating any power that any condition or negative thinking has on me. So then the next step is going back to reaffirm my beliefs. And I can go back to saying, so that therefore I know that it is my Father's good pleasure to give me my gifts because I've been created in the image and likeness of God. So we can reaffirm our gifts. So then number 6 is the next step, second to the last, is to give thanks for any truth or harmony and happiness and joy or any of the goodness. And as if it's already done, because we're working with our subconscious mind, and therefore we give thanks for the gift. It's a way of accepting. I accept the good that God wants me to have by acknowledging your oneness with the Spirit, by accepting God's gift into your life, and then welcoming this good into life. I'm thankful for my life as it is now and will be. And I celebrate the truth of my being. My spirit soars and with love and joy. These are examples of words we can use. Excuse me. And lastly is just the release. Release your prayer by allowing it to unfold in your life, right? So accepting the gifts of spirit or God. And it's just another way of saying, I know when I release my word, it is done. We're setting in motion an immutable universal law. So here's another example. I release my word with complete confidence in the law of mind, or I am its timeless expression, ever unfolding. Or in gratitude, I am free to live a rich, full life right here and right now. And I create this first in my mind, which is important, align with universal law and await its manifestation with cheerful expectancy, not to be confused with expectation. It's like a childlike expectancy. So you say, I release my word, setting my intention into law, setting it in motion, and so it is. And then just release into that. Now my only work is to really get into vibrational frequency rather than looking at the problem, looking at the solution or the manifestation that I want. How do I do that? Put myself into, like I said, that vibrational frequency of accepting what I said. So what you see right here now on the screen is kind of a quick little review of what we just went through, all right? So recognition of spirit. So I know there is one divine source. And then the second set is unifying with our relationship with spirit. So, and then you go into that recognition, unifying with that I am one with the source of all that exists. And then going into that declaration, I know that I am perfect health. If I'm worried about any kind of disease or whatever, just know that God is my source of my health. And I declare that. And if there's any kind of little doubts, I can use the next step. Deny the negative or release old patterns. That there is no thing, no disease, nothing which can limit my health. My past is just that. It's my past. And I let go of it with love. Okay, so then I can come back and reaffirm what I was saying, knowing that perfect health is mine now. And using present tense is really good because we're programming our subconscious mind, which is actually the most powerful tool in the universe, our subconscious mind, but it's also an idiot because it'll believe anything you tell it. So be careful what we tell it because it'll act on it and bring that forth to be. So, and then you go into gratitude. I give thanks for knowing this truth. And once we know that, it's like I was saying before, once you absolutely believe that you can be, do, or have, in that order, what you want in your life. You can script it the way you want. Then we just, give thanks and then release the prayer into law. And here's an example of it. And release the treatment of law and everything is right here and right now. And then you release it and just know that it's already set into motion. And then we just look for the evidence of that. Okay, so I want to do just a quick little exercise with you folks. In fact, I'm going to look into another view here. I want to try something. You want to play a quick little game with me here? Why don't you, I try to pick a color here. Why don't you look around the room where you are right now in your home? And I'm going to take a chance here because we're talking to everybody in different things, and you can use different colors if you want. Look at everything in the room that you see in the color of white, okay? And look around and kind of take that in and memorize it. Look behind you, above you, all around, okay? Okay, let me raise your hand when you've got that, when you actually see it, all right? Okay, got it, okay? If you're ready, okay, now close your eyes. No cheating now. Close your eyes, and without opening your eyes, tell me everything you saw. I'm taking a chance here that is in the color blue. Without looking. You weren't looking for blue, were you? Now open your eyes and look around. Now this may or may not, I'm not in the room with you right there. But the point here is to notice how when we're looking for one color, we don't see anything else. And the mind, when we focus on one thing, there's a pool right there for somebody, there's your blue. But the whole point of that I want to tell you is the message, I promise you this is true, that life is constantly conspiring in your favor. And our only job is to be looking for evidence of that. And we will always find evidence of that which we look for. So when we start looking at it that way, then we start to see I've broadened my scope and deepened my range of my vision. And I might be able to see opportunities out here in the periphery that I may not have seen before. So that's something that will help. And then remember I was talking about getting us into that vibrational frequency where we align with that that we want. What's a way of doing that? Well, Kathy really said the key word right there. The best key that was ever put in my hand for life has been gratitude. So if I can be coming from gratitude and look for things that I'm grateful for, we automatically, we get out of ego and get into our intuition, or we're connecting with our higher self and using our internal guidance system. And one of the ways that we do is like my bride of 35 years and I, every morning, to set the intention in the course of the day, we'll sit with a cup of coffee together, and each of us has to come up with 10 new things that we're grateful for. No fair repeating. So, and I'll give an example, because when I'm looking at my bride, I'm going, well, for political reasons, saying, well, I'm very grateful for you, right? And she looks at me like, okay, you said that yesterday. So now I'm looking for new aspects of her that I really appreciate and I'm grateful for. Well, now 3 things happen. One is now I'm looking for right things she's doing, or things that I'm grateful for with her. And it's not long before I start thinking, oh my God, how did I wind up being so lucky to have you in my life, right? The second thing that happens is she looks at me going, you like that? There's more where that came from. We draw more of that from people or things. And the third thing, at least as important, if not more important, is now, little by little, I'm training my mind to look for evidence of things. Instead of saying what's wrong with this picture, I'm looking at what's right with this picture. And to use, Kathy gave us the key right from the start there. Gratitude really does it. And I can tell you, I started noticing, even when I was in a job with real high stress and all that, my energy level from the time we began that exercise till when we finished was just off the charts. And it set the course for the day. And more often than not, it made a big difference. And I can tell you, I could feel the difference on the days that we did not do that. So that's a very powerful tool. So I bless all of you, and I hope I've helped you out with some hints there. It might help us through some of these times. There's too much bad news out there right now. The best thing I can tell you is find reasons to just laugh and be happy, be joyful, little things, whatever it might be. Kathy, did you want to open this up for any questions or anything?
Bob, I was wondering if you would grace us with your beautiful voice and your tremendous, loving prayer treatment ability. And I like to just say that recently, just want to share a little story about Bob. I was, during COVID, I experienced a lot of stress, and I had 4 people living in my home and blessing me in this home and helping me have the way of life that I do by paying me rent. And so one by one, one person left, another person left, and a third person left because of COVID, stresses. And then the last person left, and then I cried for about a day. And then I called Bob. I said, Bob, can you just hold the space for me? Can you just kind of do a prayer treatment for me? And so sure enough, I laid out on my hammock, and I just heard Bob's glorious voice. And I told Bob, I just want to bring peace in my home and a loving home, and just beautiful people could appreciate my home. And sure enough, Bob, can you just, just the intention for maybe peace for all of us, or
Okay.
for just a few minutes so we can hear that lovely kind of prayer treatment.
Okay. Well, here's how it's done. And let's just know, because we all have our different conditions that we might be having in our lives right now. We might have some fear about our health, or fear about our abundance, what am I going to do about a job or money, or how am I going to get through all these times, or whatever. And just know with me, everybody just kind of relax for a minute, and just know with me that there is one divine, loving, magnanimous intelligence that creates worlds. It's created universes. And not only that, animates and sustains everything in perfect order and perfect balance. This is the very source of all peace, love, wisdom, and all our abundance. This is the only source. And this beautiful divine intelligence knows nothing about any kind of conditions or limitations or anything. Knows only the abundance of the whole universe. And know with me that, and I'm speaking my word for all of you, I was created in the image and likeness of God, as one with an individual expression of God. And I know this is true for every one of you here. And in so doing, you can know, if you want to know what God knows, all we have to do is ask and fall silent in the warm embrace of this wonderful intelligence, and know that as we walk through life, all my needs are taken care of. My health, I have perfect health. I have relationships with the right people. I can say the prayer of Spirit. If I'm walking into an unknown situation, I look at it more as the wisdom of uncertainty. And I ask Spirit to walk before me, go before me, and pre-pave the way for me. And fill it with love. Make the crooked places straight. And then I will follow in that path laid out for me, and follow your guidance, knowing just what to say and to whom. And I find myself in the perfect place, the perfect time, saying the perfect things, coming from gratitude, and all the abundance and all my needs that I have, I can claim and be part of. I am so grateful for knowing this for everyone here, that I am claiming my authority to speak my word into the universal law, knowing that this is so right now. And so it is.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
You're so big-hearted and you're so beautiful. Now, that felt really lovely. And I just want to give a follow-up after I spoke to Bob. 2 days later, I found a beautiful spirit, a beautiful soul who came to live with me. Her name's Geneva. About a week after that, an amazing, beautiful, wise soul, Annabelle, came to live with me. And I'm so blessed to have her. And Brenda came after that, and they're just three such beautiful, beautiful feminine energy. And my house is so graced with so much peace and love. So it's a matter of intention and saying, I want this, I'm bringing this in. And then I'm just gonna release it. So that's the beautiful thing is, I declare, I want this for myself. I'm so grateful for all I have, and let it go. And that's part of our journey, is just how to release and just lean back and know we're just supported. The universe supports us. So Bob, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
I have one question for you that someone asked privately that I'm going to ask for you. You are demonstrating so much faith. Where does your faith come from? Like,
I've put it to the test for myself with things because of the study of this philosophy, and so I thought, we live in a physical world, so I thought, hey, how about a physical manifestation? I happen to like cars, so years ago I thought, what would be the best? What would be my favorite car I could have? What would be the best thing to me? I thought Ferrari, and I just started visualizing, and I followed what I described to you before, and I now am on my second Ferrari. But then again, relationships. Last Tuesday, my bride of 35 years, we had our anniversary. And I can tell you that, and that's even the most important thing for me, the demonstration of things that I just described, we're more in love with each other than we've ever been. And I want you all to know that that's very possible to do that. And all the things right now, I keep reminding myself and using different things to be grateful for, and looking for opportunities and looking for life conspire in my favor. Right now, we're scripting the best chapter yet of our lives. I'm happier than I've ever been. So I've just proven it to myself by using prayer and using these concepts that we shared. Does that answer your question?
it sounds beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much. So before we all say goodbye, I'd like to highlight a way. I'd like to show you a way that if you have any more questions for Bob, you can find him here. So if you'd like to call for some loving, just ear to share with, or some guidance or a prayer of your own, or for someone you know, you can reach Bob here. His mobile and his email address is here, or you could email me and I'll text it to you.
Of course.
Okay. Also, if you would like to talk to me, or if you like to have a private Reiki session, we can do it virtually. We could do it through Zoom. We could do it in person at a distance. Okay. And I thought that I would like to offer that if anybody would like a private Reiki distance healing with me, and you book that with me or schedule it with me, I would like to offer for free for a loved one for 30 minutes a distant Reiki session. So that'd be really cool to gift, just a loving, healing, balancing session distantly for someone you love. Okay. And you can reach me on Facebook or Instagram. Also, if today we are blessing you with this beautiful time together for free, but you like to send a love offering to Flow Abundance, you can make your donation at at Kathy Brook-Wong, okay, on Venmo. So thank you for that. Now, before we end, I would like to tell you about the upcoming Reiki healing session, or the next Reiki and Healing Arts Circle, which will be on July 26th. And it'll be from 3 to 4:15. And my special guest healer, I just talked to her last night, her name is Arjan, and she's an advanced practitioner in sacred sound. She's a gong artist and percussionist with the sacredsoundjourney.com. And Arjan is going to share aspects of the incredible power of sound healing. And she's going to lead us to awaken and clear our chakras through vocal toning. And we're going to be using mudras, mantras, which are different kind of sounds that we articulate, and mudras, which are hand positions. So that's going to be really, really exciting. And before we say our farewell, I'd like to say an Irish blessing. Around this time, about 3 years ago, I was in Ireland. So I'd like to, you could just quietly just breathe into it and just close your eyes. And this is an Irish blessing. May the roads rise to meet you. May the wind always be on your back. May the sun shine warm on your face. May the rains fall soft upon your fields. Until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. And I'd like to add a line, and may Mother Earth cradle you in her compassionate arms, so you truly know your perfection and your brilliance. So thank you all for joining, for your conscious participation in the sacred circle this afternoon. With love and light and beauty and harmony. Your energy is so needed on this planet. So you're doing great work by being here. And namaste and thank you. So if you like, you could unmute yourself and say a word, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Namaste. Love you.
Namaste and thank you.
Thank you all.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. That was wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. Very
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay, I'm on a Tesla. Okay.
Any questions? Do you want to take one for our questions? Or?
Can we have the PDF in the chat box?
Brenda, do you have a question?
Yeah, can we have the PDF to?
I put the PDF in the chat box.
Oh, is it there?
And
Okay.
if you don't see it for some reason, I can send it to you. Just text me.
Okay, I'll text you. I don't see it.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye, Beth. Thank you. Yeah, bye, Felicity. Thanks for joining. Bye, Avram and Heidi, Tammy, Allison. Thank you, Bob. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy.
Okay, we'll be signing off now. Thank you and blessings.